Jets lost to Denver 2 weeks ago and then again at San Francisco last week. Now, head coach Eric Mangini tries to get his team headed in the right direction today for the stretch run as the Jets take on Buffalo in high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. JB, are they the impressive Jets who powered their way to an 8-3 mark, or the feeble Jets who have produced very little offense while dropping their last 2 games? Brett Favre told us he'll find out today, along with all the fans who are expecting number 4 to guide the Jets into the postseason. The AFC playoff picture can go any number of ways, but this we know. The Jets, the Patriots, the Dolphins, all tied atop the AFC East, but if the Jets win today and their last 2 games against Seattle and Miami, they win the East. And with that, we welcome you to the NFL here on CBS, everyone. Greg Gumbel, along with my Hall of Fame partner, Dan Dierdorf. It's certainly easier said than done, Dan. All the Jets have to do is win out.
Yes, it is easier said than done because they put themselves in a hole with those last 2 losses, I think confidence-wise. So from a pressure standpoint, I think it's all squarely on the shoulder of the Jets.
Now, the Buffalo Bills, technically, with a 6-7 record, are still alive for a playoff spot. But they have not exactly been a piece of cake for the New York Jets over the years.
No, historically, they've really played well against the Jets. They've won the last 2 games here at the Meadowlands, and yes, they do lead the series record here at the Meadowlands. Now, those statistics never knock anybody over, but you can glean a little confidence from it. Now, as far as quarterback, J.P. Losman starts for the 2nd consecutive week. Trent Edwards out again with a groin injury. He'll be listed as the 3rd QB.
Now, I mentioned it earlier. The Jets seem to be sailing along with an 8-3 mark and leading the AFC East, but along came the last 2 weeks, which have hardly been up to snuff.
Well, there are losses where you play well and you just got to give your opponent credit, but then there are losses where you play poorly. And after these couple monster wins, that thrilling overtime win against the Patriots, and then this decisive win over the Titans, their only loss of the year, these 2 really kind of stunk it up. The loss against Denver, and then they were just horrific last week in that loss against the 49ers. Now, who squarely is going to step to the plate for the Jets? They hope that would be Brett Favre. This is why you signed him. This is why he is here. 3 pressure-packed weeks. You know he's been there before, that he can handle it. His numbers for the season are pedestrian. His interceptions tied for the most in the National Football League, but you have to keep reminding yourself this football team a year ago was 4-12.
Now, something and someone else the Jets have going for them, and Bills coach Dick Duran told us he spent all week preparing for this. One back who delivers a punishing ground game and another who is as explosive as they come.
Well, it's fashionable now in the National Football League to have really contrasting backs. Thomas Jones is a heavy-duty guy. He's leading the AFC in rushing. He scored a dozen touchdowns on the ground. And what a great change of pace, though, when you go to Leon Washington. So explosive as anybody in the league, and especially on special teams.
All right, time now for the Home Depot Tools to Victory.
All right, Greg, well, let's start with a couple guys we haven't talked about yet with Marshawn Lynch. You hope he has a big day if you're a Buffalo fan to give them a chance in this game running the ball. And then Lavernius Coles, where has he been for the last couple of weeks? Those 7 yards right now not scaring anybody. Brett Favre has got to get him involved. For Buffalo, be aggressive in all 3 phases of the game. Take some chances. Be a little reckless in your play calling. It might work out for you. And you know what? You are going to be home watching the playoffs on television. Try to take somebody else with you. For the Jets, 4 number 1s on that offensive line. Run the football. Establish your supremacy early. If you're the favorite, act like it. Climb all over the Bills right off the bat.
And for more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. No margin for error in the tough AFC East. The Bills looking to stay alive. The Jets trying to take a step forward with just 3 weeks to go. And we'll continue here on CBS after this message and a word from your local station. Right smack dab in the middle of December when the games mean so much in the National Football League. 43 degrees, the skies are clear. Welcome back to the Meadowlands, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Dan Dierdorf. The New York Jets have won the toss, and Ryan Lindell of the Buffalo Bills will kick off to Leon Washington, who has returned 1 kickoff, 92 yards for a touchdown this season. We said it earlier, it bears repeating. The Jets win today, and the next 2 weeks, they win the AFC East. And there is Brett Favre, and you mentioned earlier, Dan, this is why, these kinds of games are why the New York Jets brought Brett Favre to New York.
I know his statistics aren't world-beating at this point in time, but confidence is an elusive thing. You got to wonder if it's not a little bit shaken on the Jets, but I think one look at number 4, if that doesn't stiffen your spine a little bit, I don't know what will.
Lindell gets the kick off. Washington from the 13. Double teamed at the 25, falls forward to about the 28-yard line. And here comes Brett Favre, the Jets quarterback, the 3-time NFL MVP, 462 career touchdown passes, 20 of them this year. He came to New York this season, Jets fans looking to him to win here today. These teams met a month and a half ago in Buffalo, and the Jets won it by a score of 26-17. So here we go, the Jets from their own 28-yard line. The play fake to Jones. Favre with all kinds of time and then throwing, and that's caught near midfield and out of bounds. Lavernius Coles.
Well, if every Jets fan had a wish list, it was to get Lavernius Coles and Jericho Cotchery involved in this game, and Brett Favre does it on the first play of the game. Now, this kind of a pattern all the way across the field takes a lot of time. Favre bought himself a little extra time with movement in the pocket, but what a nice start for the Jets.
22-yard pickup, line of scrimmage, the 50-yard line. This is Jones. Jones shakes a couple of tacklers and moves it to the 46-yard line. Third-year center Nick Mangold anchors a good offensive line. Ferguson and Faneca to his left, Moore and Woody to his right. And the backs and the receivers, and that ground game rides on the AFC's leading rusher, Thomas Jones, who has scored at least 1 touchdown in each of the last 7 games. Favre now spreading the field on 2nd and 6. And the quick pass short of the 40-yard line to Jericho Cotchery. It'll be 3rd and 1. Buffalo's 4-3 defense is missing Aaron Schobel up front, gone for the year with a foot injury. Ryan Denny starts for him at right end. The second-year middle linebacker Paul Posluszny steadies the linebacking core between Keith Ellison and Kavika Mitchell. And in the secondary, Brian Scott gets a start at safety, and a knee injury sidelines Jabari Greer. The rookie Leotis McKelvin starts for him at right corner. 3rd and 1. Favre will play fake and keep it. Nobody there. Brett Favre has the whole field ahead of him and runs out of bounds about the 15-yard line.
And look at Brett laughing. In an I formation, an extra tackle at tight end, a clear running formation. Power all the way except for that at the very end. Wayne Hunter out in front, and Wayne Hunter not able to peel back and get a block on Leotis McKelvin, or Brett Favre could have gone into the end zone.
I think even Brett will admit a swifter man would have had a touchdown. First down for the Jets now at the Buffalo 14.
That was about as slow as it gets.
That pass a little bit behind Coles, the intended receiver, and it's incomplete.
Oh, that was way behind Coles, and Brett Favre not happy about that. Because Coles on the quick slant was open. Brett knows it. He's really upset with himself. So Brian Schottenheimer getting crafty here on the opening drive of the game. Brett with a keeper around the edge starts it off with the crossing pattern to Coles.
The Buffalo defense has not been performing well on opening drives. 6th play of this 58-yard drive. The give is to Richardson. Richardson to the 10, to the 5, inside the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal.
Well, Tony Richardson showing a little burst around the corner. The old man still got a little left.
That is Richardson's 4th carry of the season. It goes for 11 yards, 12 yards, and it's first and goal.
You think the Jets are breaking a few tendencies here early?
Right up the middle to the end zone. Thomas Jones with the touchdown.
That was a beautifully executed and a beautifully called drive by Brian Schottenheimer. And that is a Jets record. Thomas Jones, his 15th touchdown of the year, his 13th on the ground. He's got a pair of receiving touchdowns. And for a guy who struggled all last year, even though he had a lot of yardage, had trouble getting into the end zone, that must be awfully satisfying.
Enjoying his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season. Thomas Jones has the Jets on the board with 11:51 to play in the first quarter. The New York Jets take the opening kick to the end zone. The New York Jets take the opening kickoff and go 72 yards in under 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and they're on the board with a 7-0 lead.
I love the fact that almost everybody was involved there for the Jets. Tony Richardson, Coles, Cotchery, Favre, Jones. They were a nice job of mixing and matching.
Leotis McKeldin is deep. He has a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown this year. He's at the 25, shakes one tackler across the 30 and out to about the 33-yard line. 11:44 to play in the first quarter. J.P. Losman will try to get the Buffalo Bills right back after this. Welcome back to the Meadowlands, everyone. Dan Dierdorf, Greg Gumbel, the rest of our CBS Sports crew. J.P. Losman getting the Bills started at their own 32-yard line. The Jets with a quick 7-0 lead, and this is Marshawn Lynch, and not much there. Maybe a yard. A nagging groin injury still keeping quarterback Trent Edwards sidelined, and Losman gets the start again. 1 touchdown pass, 2 picks, completing 60% of his throws.
Keep in mind, last week was his first start in over a year, and it was really not a very good performance. JP not happy about it. Got to be better than that today if they're to have a chance on the road.
On 2nd and 8, it's Lynch again. And the Bills determined to get that ground game going. He gets across the 35 to the 37. Let's keep an eye on Bills center Duke Preston. Didn't have much luck with Jets nose tackle Chris Jenkins in the Jets win at Buffalo a month and a half ago. And the backs and the receivers and handling Jenkins will be key if Buffalo is going to get Marshawn Lynch rolling here today. The Bills looking now at a 3rd and 5. From the shotgun. Losman throwing sideline, incomplete. Intended for Roscoe Parrish. And that'll force the punt.
Well, that was good coverage over on that side that really forced Losman to go way to the outside with that pass. And right now, the perfect start for the Jets. You get the ball, you go score. Your defense, their first series, 3 and out.
And this one is the fake right up the middle, and this one appears to be enough for a first down.
If the spot is where it looks like it, you're right. I think that will be good enough for the first down.
Keith Ellison.
Well, that perfect start for the Jets just came crashing to a halt. as their special teams fall asleep at the switch. The direct snap to Ellison. Look at the good blocks on the edge, and then a missed tackle. And that missed tackle by Ihedigo, that really cost them. Ihedigo was right there at the line of scrimmage and missed it.
So on first down, the pitch to Lynch around the right side, across the 45, across midfield, still on his feet, inside the 40, and Lynch powering his way down inside the 25-yard line.
And never does go down. Well, is the glass half empty or half full? Was this great running or poor tackling? Give Marshawn Lynch a lot of credit. He's got the crease at the edge. That was a nifty move he makes right here. Look how he makes Elam miss. That's all on Marshawn Lynch, and now it's just a failure to wrap up. They can't get square on Lynch. If you're not, he will not go down.
That's Buffalo's second-round draft pick, the rookie wide receiver James Hardy, who was injured at the tail end of that play and has just been carted off the field, and it appeared they were cradling his left leg. We'll wait for an official report. Meanwhile, Marshawn Lynch just ripped off an impressive 35-yard run to put the Bills at the Jet 22. Fred Jackson is now in the backfield. Losman throwing and incomplete and off the hands of Dwight Lowry, a pass intended for Lee Evans. A quick look at the Jet defense. They played 3-4, and we mentioned Chris Jenkins. He is a rock in the middle of the D-line. The linebackers, Thomas, Barton, Harris, and Calvin Pace enjoying an outstanding season in his 6th year out of Wake Forest. Speaking of outstanding seasons, second-year corner Darrell Rivas is having one. 2nd and 10. Coming around the left side is Jackson, and Jackson is run out of bounds at about the 20.
It started with a special teams error by the Jets. The Bills have been at it. Norman throws a touchdown pass. Could you be any more wide open than Ryan Denny was right there? And here today, Ellison goes on the fake. We talked early about the Bills being aggressive in play calling in all 3 phases, and they have started that way. The Jets have to keep this in mind. This is a Bills chance. Yeah, mathematically they're alive in the playoff picture. Realistically, not a chance.
3rd and 8 with the play clock winding down. Losman needs to hurry. Got it off and hands it off to Lynch. And Lynch still on his feet. Almost to the 15-yard line. That won't be enough for a first down, and that'll bring the field goal unit on.
But still, even the attempt at a field goal after what looked like 3 and out, a big plus for the Buffalo Bills. And I'm sure that Eric Mangini will have something to say, along with Mike Westhoff, to the special teams unit about, hey, thanks a bunch. Your mistake put us, let them back in it when we had a foot on the throat.
This is a 34-yard field goal attempt coming from Ryan Lindell. On its way, and good. 7 minutes, 44 seconds to play. First half. Bills come right back with 3 at 7-3 Jets. Welcome back, everyone. The Buffalo Bills. A little opportunistic. With a field goal on the board, they trail the Jets now 7-3, and there is Leon Washington. Deep to receive the kick from Ryan Lindell. We asked Dick Duran if he'll be kicking to Washington. He said, we'll try not to. but this will be Washington on his own 10. 25. And hit hard as he got to the 30-yard line. About that opening drive, Dan.
Well, it was textbook on the very first play of the game, off play-action pass. It's right to Lavernius Coles. Then Brett, watch at the end of this as he does his little impersonation of Walter Payton. Oh, there you go. And Thomas Jones finishes it off with his record 15th touchdown of the season for the Jets. Yeah, that little skip step at the end, that looked like old number 34, didn't it?
Brett will talk about that one all week. First down, Jets from their own 30-yard line. Favre to throw. Coming across the middle, it's complete to Coles, and Coles out of bounds at about the 35 or 36 to JB with news of the Miami Dolphins. James. JB, lots of kudos to be handed out to that Miami Dolphins group, and Chad Pennington right up there among them. He has had an outstanding season. This is Thomas Jones, and Jones across the 40 for a first down to the 42.
Four #1 draft picks on this offensive line. It's time for these guys to earn their money. This is a time of the year when you've got a back like Jones, such an asset to be able to pound away at it. And right now, there's an offensive lineman. This is a kind of a challenge.
75 is out.
This is a kind of a challenge you have to embrace, and I think they are.
Now from their own 42. Favre play fakes to Jones all kinds of time, and throwing over the middle, and that's complete to Cole. Coles inside the 40 of the Bills to about the 37, and another first down for the Jets.
Oh, again, you called it, Greg. All sorts of time. They just stymied the Bills' pass rush. They never left the line of scrimmage. Brett Favre just stands there. Again, a very slow developing route by Coles. The ball a little behind him. You can see that he had to slow down for it. If that ball might have been a little more out in front where he could have taken that in full stride, he might have gone all the way.
Coles, 3 catches, 48 yards. Favre giving to Jones, who will try a right tackle inside the 35. And we have another update from New York. Let's go to JB. All right, JB, thank you. You know, Dan, you have to feel there's that mentality around the league now. You don't want to be the ones to lose to the Detroit Lions.
Good point there.
On 2nd and 6, Favre throwing, and that is inside the 20 to the 15 to Chris Baker, the tight end.
Boy, and Dante Whitner had pretty good coverage on Baker. But Brett does a good job of putting this on the back shoulder. Whitner's unsure of where the ball is. By the time he reacts to it, it's too late. Baker is turned, and the ball right there on the shoulder. Excellent throw by Brett Favre, and a nice route by Chris Baker.
And another methodical drive being engineered by Brett Favre in the Jet offense.
Well, they got good balance on the ground and in the passing game.
6 rushes, 6 throws. Favre going to throw this one. That was batted back into his face. Big Marcus Stroud, number 99, got a hand up. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Brett, you know, the quarterback hates to have a pass batted back at him like that. And for these Bills linemen, they're not getting upfield. They're not able to get close to the quarterback, so they better start jumping. That's about what we've seen so far in this game. Their best chance of defending the passing game. They have got to get upfield and get in Favre's face.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 15. This is Jones. Jones to about the 10. Spencer Johnson, number 91, corrals him there. Jets head coach Eric Mangini. in his third season. 2 years ago, the Jets went 10-6. Last year, 4-12.
A lot of free agents signed this year. A lot of money spent by Woody Johnson, the owner. Results are expected. These next 3 weeks going to be very interesting for the New York Jets.
Leon Washington in the backfield on 3rd and 5. Favre throwing, complete, touchdown. Jericho Cotchery.
Okay, Jets fans, take a deep breath. Coles and Cotchery are back. Brett Favre can throw to wide receivers. Again, all the time in the world, able to set up, stride into the throw. As a quarterback, when you can do that, all the difference in the world, and you can't throw it any better than Brett delivered it right there to Jericho Cotchery. An absolutely perfect pass.
Coles and Cotchery back, and so is Brett Favre, who throws his first touchdown pass in the last 10 quarters. The extra point is good. 3:44 to play in the first quarter. It is a joyous Brett Favre throwing the touchdown pass to give the Jets the 14-3 lead. .44 to play here in the first quarter. The Jets go 70 yards in 8 plays. Take 4 minutes off the clock in doing so. Brett Favre's touchdown pass is first in the last 10 quarters. And the Jets are on top 14-3. And now the Jets will kick it to Leotis McKelvin again. A big reason why the Bills own the second best kickoff return average in the NFL coming into the action today. 25 and run out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. Hey, got a sports fan on your gift list? And shop online at the CBS Sports Store. Beat the crowds and save big on all officially licensed NFL gear right now. Just click on shop at cbssports.com.
Well, already with 3:38 left in the first, a lot of pressure already being placed on the Bills. As you can see, nothing yet in the passing game. J.P. Losman lost out to Trent Edwards for the starting spot. He'll be a free agent almost surely someplace else next year. He's trying to create a resume.
Losman throwing over the middle, and that's complete to tight end Derek Fine, the rookie out of Kansas, and forward to about the 40-yard line. Let's get an update from James Brown. JB. There have been prettier passes thrown in the history of the National Football League. However,
yeah, well, not many more talented guys catching it.
That's true.
Than Tony Gonzalez.
Losman to throw. With time, now on the move. Diving forward and close to a first down at midfield.
And there is Trent Edwards over on the sideline, and he's listed as the third quarterback today. He did no work at all last week, resting that groin, and I can't imagine a scenario where they want to see him have to go out on this field. I'm not sure he can move well enough to defend himself, and of course they don't want him to hurt it any further where he couldn't play the balance of the season.
Dick Duran says you want to stop short of surgery if you can. 2nd and 1.
Hey, runs over there!
Losman will throw for it. This is Lynch out of the backfield. He has the first down and is down at the 45 of the Jets. Big Marshawn Lynch, boy, he is monstrous running the football.
Yeah, he just runs so much bigger than he actually is. 215 pounds. You watch the way he runs, the power with which he runs. You'd think he's a 235, 240 pound guy, but he's really not. But if you talk about a guy who runs well above his poundage, that would be Marshawn Lynch.
Lynch with a breakdown. Fred Jackson replaces him in the backfield. First down. And Losman, play fake. Looking, throws, and this is the fullback, Corey McIntyre, and he doesn't get much. In fact, he doesn't get anything. He's back to the line of scrimmage. David Harris making the stop.
Boy, and David Harris making the stop. Nothing new about that. He led this team a year ago as a rookie, and now in his second year. What a second-round draft choice, has really blossomed. Great range, and you can see right there, that's how you tackle somebody. You drive through the ball carrier. You just don't run up and kind of embrace him. You drive through him in executing the tackle.
There aren't many embraces out there during a football game, are there?
Well, we saw a lot of attempted embraces on that first run by Marshawn Lynch.
On 2nd and 10, this is Jackson, and Jackson can't break free. He may have gotten 2 on the play.
Greg, you have to admit, Lynch ran through about 4 attempted embraces by the Jets on that opening drive after they converted the fake punt.
We're in the last 25 seconds of the first quarter, and Losman and the Bills look like they will just wait the remainder of this quarter out.
Gee whiz. You're down. I guess he'll try to talk it over and come up with a fancy play, but gee whiz, when you're in a trail position, run as many plays as you can.
We come to the end of the first quarter. 14-3 Jets. We're back after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to the Meadowlands, everyone. As we start the second quarter, it's been a very impressive offensive performance by the Jets in the first quarter. They lead it 14-3. 3rd and 8 for Losman and the Bills. He gets good protection, running out of time now, and can't get away. He goes down at his own 48.
That is a great look at a defensive line maintaining the integrity of their rush lanes when they get upfield. They know Losman is more of a threat to run than he is to throw. When he tries to flush out to the right, you see right there he's cut off, and that is so key. David Bowens was right there to keep him from escaping.
Leon Washington takes a look, lets this one sail over his head and into the end zone for the touchback. 14 minutes, 26 seconds to play here in the first half. 14-3 Jets. Hey, if you thought the fantasy football season was over, it isn't. Sign up for NFL.com's playoff challenge, where you could win a trip to Super Bowl 44. Only at NFL.com/fantasy/playoff challenge. Jets with the ball, first down, their own 20. Pass out here to the near side, and that is complete to Kochery. And Kochery is forced out of bounds right at the first down marker.
Well, hard to have a better start to a football game than Brett Favre is having today. He gets right out of the box with Lavernius goals. He's 6 of 8. He's got a nice run. He's the Jets' leading rusher with a 27-yard run. And he gets this drive started with another nice throw. And again, Brett must have been reading the papers. He's going to his wide receivers early and often.
27 rushing yards on the day. Here's Thomas Jones. Jones wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Meanwhile, time for another update from the NFL Today in New York and James Brown. JB. You know, if this keeps up, people are going to begin to start to question that Tampa Bay defense against the run.
After they got pounded by Carolina. Remember, Jeff Garcia is not playing today.
2nd and 10. Favre throwing, and that's complete across the 35 to Dustin Keller, the rookie tight end out of Purdue.
And Dustin Keller, he's had a, he's got a lot of receptions when you consider he's a rookie, but he's also had a fair number of drops. He dropped one on the opening possession last week in that loss against San Francisco, and that really got Eric Mangini upset. And they had a little bit of a discussion on Monday of this week, and Keller not active, not involved in the passing game until that throw right there. And yeah, he and Eric had a little heart-to-heart.
The two tight ends ahead of him had 23 catches. Dustin Keller started this day with 42. Favre to throw again. This side of the field. That is complete to Lavernius Coles, and he's out of bounds at midfield, and another Jet first down.
Again, Brett Favre, I think, demonstrating that there's still some juice in that right shoulder. Take a look at that out pattern to Coles. You just got to keep telling yourself the guy throwing that ball is 39 years old. And for those of you who think he can't get it outside anymore or go deep, I think there's still a little life left in there.
And there has been some question about Brett Favre and not stretching the field lately.
Well, they're doing it today.
Favre on the slant, in and out of the hand, and that is picked off by Posluszny. Favre had that one delivered right on the money.
Well, it's a slant to his left. Brett Favre going to throw the slant. It's a little bit behind Lavernius Coles, and the ball bounces. It looked like it actually bounced off of McKelvin to Posluszny. Let's watch it again. It's a little behind Coles, but it's there. Watch number 28 on the ground. Oh, it might have bounced off the foot of Coles.
Either way, Posluszny with his first pick of the year, and at midfield, Losman goes to work with Marshawn Lynch running room up the middle, inside the Jet 40 to about the 37-yard line and a first down.
Well, Marshawn Lynch, who early on was very effective, strangely didn't touch the ball on the last offensive series for Buffalo. The heaviest offensive line in the league did a pretty good job of mashing up front that time. Brian Thomas came in from the side and he missed the tackle. He couldn't get a bearing on Lynch, who's running awfully hard here in the early going.
Here's Lynch again with blocking in front of him, trying to turn the corner, and Calvin Pace wrapped him up and prevented that from going further than it did. You talked about that offensive line, Dan. The average weight on that front line is 335.5 pounds.
They got Jason Peters at 340. Langston Walker, you're looking at him right there, 68. He's coming in at a smooth 366. They're the tallest, the heaviest, but the best offensive line in the league, I think, is right here in New York, playing for the Giants.
On 2nd and 5, Fred Jackson stood up at the 30-yard line. Eric Barton and Mike DeVito with the stop. It'll be 3rd and 3. Favre is stuck with that 16th interception, although when the ball bounces around that much, you can't much blame a quarterback for it.
No, that one's unfortunate, but still, it's a statistic Brett wishes was different.
3rd and 3. Losman with time, pulls it down, now throws and completes it inside the 25 to the 21-yard line goes Josh Reed.
Well, that time the Jets pass rush, they did a great job of being in the right lanes. They just couldn't shed their blocker. They're in a position to keep Losman from running, but they're not in a position to force him to throw the football. So he's able to go ahead and pump like that and come back. Great job of keeping him in the pocket, but a poor job of collapsing the pocket.
Now the pitch for Fred Jackson, who will try the near side, turning the corner, tippy-toeing down the sideline and out of bounds at about the 15.
Well, Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch, they've come to play today. They're running the ball hard. That's Langston Walker, who's struggled to get up and got up and looks like he's heading right for the Buffalo bench.
6'8", 366 pounds.
I guess it's gotten to the point where we can just casually mention a guy weighs 366 pounds. That's a mind-numbing body weight.
Just inside the 15-yard line. It's 2nd and 3 for Losman and the Bills. Kirk Chambers, number 73, has replaced Langston Walker at right tackle. This is Lynch. And Lynch doesn't find any running room at all. He got to the 13-yard line, rather.
Well, Darrelle Revis got the last New York Jet hit on Marshawn Lynch, but Lynch is not going down. I mean, kudos to Marshawn Lynch for how hard he is running. I mean, how many New York Jets right there are in that pile, and he just keeps fighting, keeps spinning. And when he spun right into Revis.
Well, the Bills have been gaining all of their yardage on the ground. 91 rushing yards to just 19 through the air. 3rd and 2. Losman with time. Throwing. And that is pulled down at the 10-yard line by Lee Evans for a first down. The completion was in doubt for a while.
Well, finally Lee Evans gets involved in this football game. And what a catch on a ball that was high and inside. Look at him go up there and snatch that thing out of the air. Looked at first like it was going to get away from him, but he was able to bring it back in. Again, the lack of a Jets pass rush allowed Losman a pretty good sight line. 1st and goal. Buffalo hasn't been extremely successful in the red zone on offense lately. This is Jackson trying the left side to about the 7. C.J. Mosley with the stop. There's Trent Edwards. Meanwhile, on the other side, the way Brett Favre is going, you know he can't wait to get his hands on the ball again. Oh, and that's why these drives by Buffalo are very, very fortuitous for them. Dick Duran, they've got to eat up some clock. The way their defenses looked, I'm not sure they're going to. They can't be brimming with confidence the way Brett and the Jets have carved them up.
From the 7-yard line. They just barely get the play off in time. Losman on the run to the 5, reaching for the end zone. Touchdown.
The Jets knew this. This is no surprise. If J.P. Losman drops back and he sees no one in the middle, his first instinct is not to wait for a receiver to come open. It's to take off with the football. The guy can really run. And you would have think the Jets would have been a little better prepared for this. He will do that every single time if he gets a chance. And he will make that decision quickly. He will tuck it and go.
Buffalo Bills and Dick Duran just happy to score a touchdown.
Yeah, they only scored a field goal their last 2 games.
Losman's 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Lindell on for the extra point. And it's good. 6:44 to play in the first half. Buffalo jumps right back into this thing on the Losman TD. It's 14-10 Jets.
Welcome back to the Meadowlands. check out the knee right there of Losman. There's the football. That's why the Jets didn't challenge it. That is the exact freeze of where the ball was when his knee touched. Ruled a touchdown on the field, and it was. Nice job of officiating.
Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills scored their first touchdown in almost 153 minutes of play. This is Leon Washington from the goal line. 20. 35 before he is tripped up and brought down by Justin Jenkins. And we have a penalty marker on the near side of the field. Preliminary call is a hold against the Jets. Our referee today is Jeff Triplett.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 44 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that will back the Jets off, and special teams coach Mike Westhoff goes Shazbaz. Hey, Pete Carroll, they remember him around these parts. His day job coaching the USC Trojans is going gangbusters, but it's his night job that got him on 60 Minutes. That's tonight here on CBS.
A fascinating character, Pete Carroll. Man, what a great recruiter he is.
You betcha.
No wonder why with that personality.
We give it to Thomas Jones, left side, turning the corner, got running room. Out of bounds, just shy of the 30-yard line. Over on the sidelines, number 44, James Ihedibo, is the last guy who wanted to be called for a penalty on that kick return, Dan.
Yeah, unfortunately, Leon Washington had a kickoff return for a touchdown called back last week against the 49ers because of a hold that was called on Ihedibo, although watching the tape, I thought it was a marginal call.
Here's Jones, and we get whistles and a false start against the Jets.
False start. Number 67 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Damian Woody, in his 10th season out of Boston College, he came into this league as a center.
And one of those #1 draft choices on that line. You're right. The Patriots drafted him as a center. He played there 5 years. Has some Super Bowl rings to show for it. Then he went to Detroit for 4 years. How's that for traveling from one end of the football spectrum to the other?
Favre now on 1st and 15. Fakes the pass, gives to Jones up the middle, and he's tripped up and falling forward to about the 29-yard line. Once again to our friend James Brown in New York. JB.
Second and 11 from the 29.
Not only that, JB, how talented is Matt Ryan? They will be talking about him for years to come around the NFL. Second and 11. This is Jones again, and Jones a little running room up the middle across the 30 to about the 32-yard line where Kyle Williams makes the stop. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Now this Buffalo defense has really missed Aaron Schobel, who this week got put on injured reserve, but his pass rushing skills really have been dragging down the lack of a pass rush by Buffalo.
Dan, we talked to Chris Kelsey. He says life is just different without Aaron Schobel on the other side of the defensive line. Favre needs the 40-yard line for a first down. With time over the middle, almost intercepted by Posluszny. Has one already today. Got a hand on that one and knocked it down.
Well, when they only rush 3 and drop 8, it is difficult to force the ball into the middle of the field, and that's what Brett did right here. There are 8 Buffalo Bills back there in coverage, and he did not see Postlesny coming across underneath. A lot of times in that 8-man drop-off, you're better off trying to dump it off short and getting a little yards after the catch.
Roscoe Parrish is deep for the kick, averaging more than 13 yards a return on punt from his own 20. He's got more than that now, up the near sideline. 40, 30, and knocked out of bounds. The officials say he stepped out of bounds at about the 24-yard line, but a heck of a return by Roscoe Parrish.
Well, the Buffalo Bills and their special teams are keeping themselves in this thing. And right now, this play right here by Hodges, he doesn't make the tackle, but just by forcing Parrish back to the middle of the field, it allows his teammates to get an angle. If Hodges doesn't make Parrish dodge back into the middle, I think he goes all the way. 48-yard punt, 56-yard return sets up the Bills at the Jet 24 with 4:10 to play in the first half. Credit Abram Elam there with excellent hustle, stopping that touchdown.
The fake to Lynch, the give to Steve Johnson, left side, blocking in front of him inside the 20 to about the 18.
Well, we knew this was going to happen today in terms of Buffalo being aggressive. They have really nothing to lose, and we've seen fake punts already, reverses, quarterback running all over the place. I don't think that this is a Buffalo Bills team that feels, I think, no pressure at all here today.
Losman now 2nd and 4. Straight ahead, Lynch to the 10, still on his feet, inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal for the Bills.
Well, again, missed tackles. Again, Marshawn Lynch picking his way through, but not really getting challenged until Kerry Rhodes has a chance. I mean, this is, look at this. You got to get off blocks. Rhodes is right there. He can't make the tackle, and that's because Lynch can go so far to the inside without another New York Jet in pursuit.
Langston Walker was back on the field and helped out. Now 1st and goal. Lynch stacked up at about the 3. Looks like a town hall meeting at the 3-yard line.
Eric Mangini, he wants to see his defenders get off blocks better than they are right now. You can't look like you got Velcro on your jersey and just stick to that guy in front of you. And that is alarming. The Jets have been good at defending the run all season. They're 4th best in the NFL from a yardage standpoint.
And it's no secret how the Bills are going about business today. They have just 23 yards passing. 2nd and goal. Losman throwing on the slant. Touchdown to Steve Johnson. His 1st touchdown of the year, and Buffalo is in the lead.
And there aren't many people here at the Meadowlands that are believing that Buffalo is in the lead. The way this game started, all New York Jets, what a nice comeback and way to show some fight by the Buffalo Bills. A nice little pattern getting the inside on Darrelle Revis. And right now I think everybody in green is a little bit in shock as to what's happening.
Ryan Lindell's kick is good. J.P. Losman told us he's interested in creating a highlight reel to show to some people at the end of the year. 17-14 Buffalo. Welcome back, everyone. Steve Johnson probably getting some playing time because we saw James Hardy carted off the field earlier in the game, and Johnson on the receiving end of the touchdown pass from J.P. Losman. That's called improvement, Dan.
You would say so. That's called frustration, anger, and probably a whole bunch of other emotions there in Eric Mangini.
Here's Leon Washington from the 7. Running out of room that way and goes down at about the 16 or 17 yard line. John Cordo making the stop, and we come to the 2-minute warning. 1:59 to play here in the first half. Remind you, coming up, the Spread Halftime Report, and welcome back to our friend and colleague Dan Marino. After a tough week, he joins JB, Shannon Boomer, Coach Cower with all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Both teams, all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and Favre going to work from his own 17-yard line. Quick pop out of the backfield, and that is complete. Dustin Keller to the tight end and out to the 25-yard line.
A blazing start for the Jets, scoring on their first 2 possessions, 2 drives of 70-plus yards, and then the carom on that interception really got Buffalo started.
Favre rolling, throwing, incomplete. Intended for Coles. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Greg, I would not have thought that I'd be in a position to say this after the way the Jets started, scoring on their first 2 drives, that they're the ones that need to get a first down here at the end of the first half to keep from giving the ball back to Buffalo, because Buffalo is hot.
In the first 2 possessions of this game couldn't have been more lopsided in favor of the Jets.
No, this has had a 180-degree reversal.
Now on 3rd and 2. Favre pulls it down, now over the middle, and that's a diving catch made across the 30 by Washington. Clock continues to move as we come up on 1:20 to play in the first half.
But it moves the chains. Great pass blocking by the guys up front on that one.
Favre in 2-minute mode, now throwing, and then wide open Coles to midfield and down at the Buffalo 47-yard line. And a timeout stops the clock with 1:05 to play. Jets on the move. We'll take a timeout.
I think right now for the Buffalo Bills, they got to find a way to get some pass rush. Well, it's been a busy first half here so far. We've had a little bit of everything. Kotchery gets the touchdown to get the Jets started. And then there's the interception that goes to Pazluzny. And boy, did that ignite Buffalo as J.P. Losman stretches it. And then Roscoe Parrish gives Buffalo great field position. And J.P. finishes it off with a touchdown to the rookie Steve Johnson. And Dick Duran's club has fought their way back into the lead, but they've got to get a pass rush. Their 4-man rush has not pressured Favre at all to this point.
Jets with 2 timeouts remaining. They're going to give it to Leon Washington. Washington, 30, 25, 20, and there he goes. Touchdown.
Oh, did Leon Washington get hurt at the end of this? Sometimes you get big plays because your players are better than their players. And on that play, Leon Washington's the best player on the field. Man, can he make things happen.
47 of the quickest yards you'll see.
He had everything on that. Good moves, and then when he needed, no substitute for straightaway speed.
The kick is good. And with 55 seconds to play here in the first half, the Jets regain the lead at 21-17.
First of all, nice crease right off right guard. Nice cut by Washington. And then that little move right there, and then it's just speed. Brian Scott, the safety, number 43, looks like he's going to be in a position to make a tackle coming up right there, but he takes a really poor angle, misjudges Washington's ability to burst past him. And then Leon Washington, man, that's something special.
Dan, how about Leon Washington on his first carry from scrimmage today? 47 yards and the touchdown to give the Jets the lead with under a minute to play.
He just brings so much to a football team. His ability to play from scrimmage, whether it's as a running back, a receiver, and then, of course, what he can do on special teams. Brett Favre told a great story telling us how his wife Deanna asked him, well, who do they have in New York? Well, do they really have somebody you can rely on? And he goes, I know one thing. They got a kid named Leon Washington. He can be something special. And she goes, really? Well, I'll be anxious to see it.
I think she meant I'll be glad to see it. Leotis McKelvin deep. And McKelvin will take this one 2 yards deep into the end zone. And gets it back to about the 21-yard line.
Well, the New York Jets have had their fair share of long runs this year. Leon here takes it 60 yards against the Kansas City Chiefs. Then against Tennessee, he goes for 61. There they against the Broncos. This is Thomas Jones, goes for 69. And then here again is Leon's latest effort. Boy, I tell you, that adds so much to a football team when you can just take a run like that and get it for a 20-plus yard carry, and when you can take it all the way.
And that'll open things up for a quarterback, won't it?
Yes.
Buffalo with all 3 of its timeouts remaining now from their own 21.
Well, the Jets offensive line, Greg, has had a great first half.
Losman, safety valve, far side of the field. This is Fred Jackson, and Jackson out to about the 29.
Now the Jets defense has not had a great first half. They've not been tackling well.
So Buffalo uses its first timeout, stops the clock with 29 seconds to play.
Well, there's the AFC playoff picture, and I think you all know by now that 3 teams are 8-5 in the AFC East. Miami is up 14-3 right now. It's going to be a wild finish, and of course I think everybody knows that Miami and the Jets finish up the season in week 17. I would think that game's going to have a great deal of meaning. But how about the fact that Miami is in the hunt? They were 1-15 a year ago, and the Jets were 4-12.
And as we said, it would take slight little miracles, but the Buffalo Bills are still alive.
And the Patriots minus Tom Brady.
2nd and 2.
A lot of great stories.
Out here to Robert Royal, the tight end, and Royal out of bounds to stop the clock at the 33-yard line.
The Patriots are out on the West Coast to play the Raiders at 4:15 this afternoon.
J.P. Losman now 8 out of 10 and completing passes to 8 different receivers.
And that's his arm. He has done great damage with his legs.
2 carries for 17 yards and a touchdown. Losman throwing over the middle, and Royal couldn't hold on to that one. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. 17 seconds on the clock.
Well, the Jets looking at going into halftime down 17-14. Yeah, Brett Scott. There is the cat that ate the canary. How many times has he done that over the course of his career? And if the defense can keep from having something really bizarre happening to them here in the final 17 seconds, pretty satisfying first half for the Jets offensively.
Offensively
Offensively is right.
2nd and 10. Losman, all kinds of time, and throwing incomplete short of the 40-yard line to Fred Jackson. And they'll stop the clock with 9 seconds to play.
That's complete to Jackson. Second target timeout.
Well, J.P. Losman has been hasn't been harried as he's been back in the pocket. Again, I talked earlier, I don't want to belabor the point, but sometimes you can worry about staying in your lanes too much. Now this is truly a prevent situation, but with a 4-man rush, nothing even close. Almost 6.5 seconds, and even at that point, Losman threw it only because he wanted to. He wasn't forced to.
And when you get that much time, you're hoping for more than just 5 yards on the play.
And it's one thing if you only had a 3-man rush and dropped 8 people, but Eric's guys have got to shed some of the blockers in the pass rushing situations and put pressure right up the middle on the Buffalo QBs.
9 seconds to play, 1 timeout remaining for the Bills. Looking, throwing over the middle, and that's complete to Fred Jackson, and Jackson lost the football, recovered by a teammate, and that will do it for the first half. Roscoe Parrish covered the football, prevented any kind of a possible return from the New York Jets. But it has been a back and forth game, and we come to the end of the first half. The New York Jets holding the advantage right now at 21-17. We'll be back with a Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. The middle to the end zone. Thomas Jones with the touchdown, and that is picked off by Pusluzny.
Losman drops back. His first instinct is to take off with the football.
Okay, Jets fans, take a deep breath. Coles and Conchery are back. Welcome back to the Meadowlands, everyone. At halftime, you look at the numbers. The New York Jets are leading it by a score of 21-17. And back in the Meadowlands, Greg Gumbel along with Dan Dierdorf. You're wondering why the Buffalo Bills are in this game as much as they are. One of the things Dick Duran told us last night, Dan, was we have to avoid turnovers. They have no turnovers today, no penalties scored against them, called against them at all.
And a couple big plays on special teams. But really, it is a bit of a surprise because they've been really ineffective passing the football. Only 40-plus yards throwing the football in the first half. Not a lot. I think the Jets are going to be pretty happy that they get to start this half on defense. I'm assuming they got a pretty good talking to it after.
I was about to ask you about the extent of the tongue lashing that might have gone on in the locker room at the break.
Well, when that happens to you as a player, you want to be the first unit on the field to start that half and kind of exercise the demons a little bit.
As we get underway here in the second half, a reminder, this game comes your way in high definition. The Bills will get their hands on the ball first. Brett Favre off of a pretty decent first half, 12 of 17 for 149 yards. 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception. This kick is short, comes down at the 20-yard line, and is taken by Spencer Johnson. Not your ideal return man at 6'3", 286 pounds. There's the Buffalo Bills head coach. No turnovers, no penalties, 7 points off the turnovers, and a fine punt return by Roscoe Parrish that the Bills converted into a touchdown.
And a fake punt that they converted into a first down that extended a drive.
So now Losman and the Bills from their own 32-yard line, trailing 21-17 as we get underway here in the second half. Marshawn Lynch, who had a 79-yard performance on the ground in the first half, going to add to it here as he piles across the 35 to the 36.
Well, this is what this team is built to do. Grind the football, pound away with that huge offensive line. And Marshawn Lynch, not a fancy running back, not a guy that's going to make too many people miss. He's certainly no Leon Washington. But these guys are mashers and maulers.
Second and 6. Losman throwing out here and overthrows Lynch out of the backfield. And it'll be 3rd and 6.
And that's just That's just a total misfire by Losman. That ball just got away from him and sailed big time.
You know, we talked about it in the first half, Dan. J.P. Losman's under no illusions about what his future is in Buffalo. He wants to put together what he says is a nice highlight reel to be able to show some teams at the end of the season when he becomes a free agent.
I said, what do you think's going to happen? He laughingly said, oh, maybe they'll franchise me. Yeah, for $14.5 million, JP. He was joking. At least he's maintaining a sense of humor.
3rd and 6. Losman with time, throwing, and that's complete for a first down to the 45-yard line. Josh Reed with the catch.
Again, both quarterbacks today have been enjoying pretty good pass protection. Just a 4-man rush, everyone accounted for and pretty much stalemated by the Buffalo offensive line. This has been a problem throughout the first half for the defensive line of both teams, getting off blocks and creating pressure.
Losman throwing outside, and that is incomplete, intended for Lee Evans.
Again, he had Evans, and that's just another misfire from Losman. That ball just too high and outside. A better throw, and that's a pretty routine completion.
You know, when we were talking to some of the players, you were pretty intensively asking a lot of the players how they like Dick Jauron, and to a man, they are behind the Bills head coach.
To a man, and they are, I would say, very definitely 100% behind their guy Dick Jauron. They're very disappointed they haven't played better for him. They dropped none of the blame at his doorstep.
Losman lost the ball, picked it up, looking for room to run, and throws it away.
Now, as we all know, the players don't have a vote. All that matters is whether 90-year-old Ralph Wilson is 100% behind Dick Jauron. Let's watch this exchange between Duke Preston and J.P. Losman. Now, Preston, he delivered the football. He brought it up, and it looked like it was in a right spot. Losman looked like he may have just pulled out a little bit early, but he alertly was able to get rid of the football. Preston last week, though, had a highlight film miss snap when he snapped it conventionally in a shotgun formation.
3rd and 10. Losman lost the ball on the ground, and the Bills covered it. Calvin Pace knocked it out of Losman's hands, and Langston Walker covered the loose ball.
Well, J.P. Losman is buying himself a little extra time. Calvin Pace is number 97 there at the bottom. He's going to keep working, and he comes in and gets the strip sack. You could see he comes in with the right hand and goes right for the football, and the Bills very fortunate to get that back.
Now the Bills have to kick it to Leon Washington.
What a punt.
Washington going to let it bounce at the 12, rolls inside the 5, and downed at the 2-yard line by John Wendling. 63-yard kick backs the Jets up to their goal line. .43 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Greg Gumbel, Dan Dierdorf, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew. The Jets, average start their own 18. It's the 3rd straight time they've started to drive inside their own 15-yard line. This one from the 2-yard line. Favre on the slant. That's complete to Jericho Cotchery. Once we wind things down here, remember it's a doubleheader day here on CBS. Up next, the playoff push continues. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers against Ray Lewis and the Ravens. The Broncos and the Panthers, the Patriots and the Raiders. Check your local listings.
How good is that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game coming up? What a matchup. That's one of those bring another chin strap games. That will be a head knocker.
Defense may be the order of the day. 2nd and 2. And this is Jones. Jones hit hard as he reaches the 1st down marker. Dante Whitner coming up to make the stop.
How about 2 of the safeties playing in that game? Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed. How about that? How about those 2?
2 of the very best.
with Bob Sanders having trouble staying healthy in Indianapolis, those two, I would suspect, have the top of the safety game all to themselves.
First down for Brett and the Jets. And this is Jones. And Jones across the 20 to the 22. And very close to another first down.
Man, there's a lot to like about Thomas Jones. And what he likes is good blocking up front. He gets it right there. He gets a good lead block from Tony Richardson, Mangold, Faneca, Moore, and Ferguson, and Woody up front. This is the way you power your way away from the shadow of your own goal line. And 300 yards in offense, just a yard shy for the Jets. And early in the third quarter, that's very, very productive.
Favre on first down. Straight drop. And throwing. Oh, what a catch made just short of midfield by David Clowney. That's his first NFL reception.
Well, there's a guy that gets number one with a little bit of flair. First of all, look at this throw from Brett Favre on the crossing pattern. Sticks it right out in front. And I think I'll just reach out with my left hand and flip it right back to myself. David Clowney with awesome speed. And on that particular instance, awesome hands to go with it.
His NFL debut, and it's a dandy. 26-yard pickup. The pitch to Jones, left side, to about the 48, maybe the 47-yard line of Buffalo.
You know, David Clowney, a guy on the practice squad last year, and he broke his clavicle in the second preseason game. So he had a big first preseason game. Looked like he was really going to be a big part of the Jets offensively this year, but his progress from last year to this year, the hours he spent studying, Eric Mangini noticed it, said he had such a marked improvement over the player he was last year. And of course, I think everybody here in New York knows a great story about how he takes care and provides and raises his 10-year-old brother.
On 2nd and 6. Favre with the short flip to Jones, and Jones down at about the 48-yard line. You know, Clowney had himself a terrific preseason game against Cleveland, but it was overshadowed with the arrival of Brett Favre as a New York Jet.
And then after this tremendous first game where everybody in New York is going, David Clowney, yeah, I know he was on the practice squad. Remember, this guy ran a 4.36 in the combine last year as a rookie. And then, of course, in the very next game, he breaks his collarbone, and then that's basically it. And he's just now working his way back in. And he's active because of the concussion suffered by Brad Smith.
Now third down for Favre. On the move, penalty marker flies in the backfield. Favre has first down yardage, but let's check the flag thrown by the referee, Jeff Triplett.
Holding number 60 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Third down.
Well, one of the rare times today that the pocket fell apart for either quarterback, and DeBrickashaw Ferguson gets called for the hold. We'll see if we can get a good look at it. Here he is right here playing the left tackle. Working against Kyle Williams, who worked his way out on a line stunt, and Ferguson wasn't able to get his body squarely in front of Williams. And that was a hold all the way. You've got to work your body in front of a rushing defender.
Clowney is back on the field now on 3rd and 17. Favre pump fakes, going deep, coming up short and intercepted by Terrence McGee. McGee on his way back, midfield and out of bounds in Jets territory.
There are just times where Brett Favre gives every indication that he's going to throw the football regardless of whether or not the coverage is there. And that was one of those situations. Double coverage. That was dead from the beginning.
Coach don't like it. .805 to play. Brett Favre, his second interception of the day. 17 on the season, leads the National Football League. And Losman and the Bills now at the New York 45. Marshawn Lynch Lynch inside the 40 to the 39.
There's no doubt Brett throws into coverage. He also gets hit just as he throws the ball. Ryan Denny, watch him coming in, working on 66 Faneca. He actually makes contact with the helmet. Look at it right here. Right as Brett is releasing the ball, he gets hit on the side of the helmet by Ryan Denny and not able to completely stride into the ball. But again, that was into double coverage, and it ended up looking more like a punt as it came down.
Buffalo +2 in the turnover differential, and here's Marshawn Lynch. Maybe a yard on the play. So it'll be 3rd and 3. And a big play for the Bills if they're to make money out of that interception.
Again, this is where Losman is so dangerous in his running ability.
They spread the field, both Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch. And now Lynch drops back into the backfield. Losman throwing this side, and that's complete inside the 35-yard line to Jackson for a first down.
Well, you can see Kerry Rhodes, number 25. He's got the single coverage, and it was a nice job by Fred Jackson of running the route exactly the distance he needed to move the chains. A lot of times you'll see a guy run that pattern and come up a yard short. He gauged it very well.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that for Fred Jackson today. Now on first down on the end around, coming this side of the field is Jackson. And he's just short of the 25.
There's Trent Edwards, who's normally the Buffalo starting quarterback. He's missing his 2nd consecutive game because of a pulled groin muscle. Such a promising start for this Buffalo team. They won their first 4 games, albeit against the Rams, the Raiders, Jacksonville, and Seattle. But still, it was 4-0.
And then 5-1. But they have lost 6 of their last 7.
False start. Number 83 of the offense.
And have yet to beat an AFC East opponent this year.
Down.
That's really frustrating when you don't have any success within your division. Of course, the 3 leaders of the AFC East all playing pretty good football, all with winning records, all 8-5.
Leaves you a little short in the tiebreaker department, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little short.
2nd and 9. Losman pulls it down, now throws. Lynch takes a hit and goes down, courtesy of Brian Thomas. Let's check in with James Brown at the NFL Today in New York. JB? San Diego will be out of it if they lose today. Maybe the biggest head scratcher in the National Football League this year. Losman throwing, setting up the screen. Fred Jackson going nowhere. David Harris was there to put the stop on.
Well, good work by 2 Jet linebackers on back-to-back play. The previous play was Brian Thomas with the tackle out in space on Marshawn Lynch, and this time David Harris. David Harris doing his job in the middle, reads the screen, fights through 1 block, gets upfield, and makes the tackle. Exactly what you're supposed to do. You make the big man miss, and then you make the hit and put the guy down.
And now a 48-yard attempt coming up by Ryan Lindell. He was good from 34 earlier. This one on its way and not. Is it going to curl in? Bounced off of the upright and through.
20 yards from the upright. It looks like this has wide right written all over it. He curls it in at the end and gets the bounce.
All things considered, a pretty nice day here at the Meadowlands. 3:35 to play in the third quarter, and the Bills have closed to within 21-20, and there is Leon. Ryan Lindell will kick it. Washington stands at his own 5. And Washington will get to return this one from the 6. 20. Out to about the 28 or 29 yard line. 3:29 to play, third quarter. Lots of football still to be played. 21-20 Jets. .329 to play here in the third quarter at the Meadowlands. Jets with the ball in a 1-point lead. Their own 29-yard line. This is Thomas Jones. And Jones, with nowhere to go, gets wrapped up at about the 30. People turning out here today. In the booth next to us up here, there's Michael Douglas sitting next to Jets owner Woody Johnson, and with Michael Douglas in the green cap. And Philip Seymour Hoffman, he of the Texas Longhorns, follow a couple of mighty fine actors. 2nd and 9. Favre with time, throwing, that's complete. Coming across the middle of the field is the tight end Dustin Keller, and Keller with a first down.
Boy, and again, a pattern that takes a long time to develop. Long developing patterns need one thing. They need pass protection. And look at the job by these guys up front. Man, that is the way you seal it off, and a good job by Thomas Jones of picking up the blitzer up the middle.
Favre, 16 of 22 now for 202 yards. Throw it again. And this one is incomplete, just short of Chris Baker, the intended receiver.
Well, you know, going in that Brett Favre wanted to get Lavernius Coles and Jericho Cotchery involved in this game, and he has certainly done that. 9 receptions between the two of them, and now Dustin Keller starting to come on here in the latter stages. But Brett Favre, in really, I think, a very good way of making your opponent's game plan for you down the stretch, getting his wideouts involved.
2nd and 10 now, and the give is to Jones, and Jones inside the 45 to the Buffalo 43. And we are at 1:55 to play now for the third quarter.
Well, Thomas Jones, we talked at the very top of the telecast about how he was going to have to be instrumental today for the New York Jets. After losing 2 games in a row, one of the ways to regain your confidence is to play a very physical football game that involves running the football. And the Jets have been doing that very well.
3rd and 3. Will Favre put it in the air, or will he give it to Jones? It's Jones. Stopped well short of first down yardage. Spencer Johnson was the first to hit him.
Boy, a rare negative yardage run by Thomas Jones. It's really unusual for this guy not to get positive yardage. DeBrickashaw Ferguson tries to get the cut block on the back, and Adam Sandler's going, well, I could have done better than that.
Roscoe Parrish going to let this one fly into the end zone. And it'll come out to the 20-yard line. 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. 21-20 Jets. Stay out there. Hey, tomorrow, celebrate the holidays with a bang, a big bang. Don't miss a new Big Bang Theory tomorrow here on CBS, America's most watched network. Adam Sandler looking on with the rest of the Jet fans as Buffalo starts from its own 20-yard line. And Marshawn Lynch, oh, he's tough to bring down, isn't he?
He's not down yet. There he finally goes. Well, you know, Marshawn Lynch, who doesn't talk to the press this week in Buffalo, had a rare meeting with the media and actually said, you know, a lot of our offensive problems are my fault. He actually stepped forward and really spoke up. I think he was taking more than his fair share of the blame, but he felt the need to do it to try to inspire his teammates.
21-20 Jets. We've come to the end of 3. We're back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Crew, Greg Gumbel at the Meadowlands, 21-20 in favor of the Jets. J.P. Losman, 14 of 20, but not very much yardage, Dan.
Less than 5 yards per completion. That is extremely low.
Now on 2nd and 8 from the shotgun. Losman throwing through the hands and intercepted at the 26-yard line by Hank Poteet.
Well, he had to fight that football. Hank Poteet had a devil of a time trying to get it under control, but he finally did. And that is a break the Jets needed. Again, a high throw from J.P. Losman. Went through the hands of Josh Reed. Reed was wide open, but the ball's too high. Now, Reed could have caught that, or at least could have kept it from a tip drill. But this ball just way too high from J.P. Losman. A better throw, and that's just an easy pitch and catch completion.
Now from the 20-yard line, first turnover of the day by the Bills, and here's Thomas Jones zigging and zagging to the 17.
Well, Brett Favre has thrown a couple of picks that the Bills were nice, very much appreciated, and now it's J.P. Losman's turn.
Dan, I got to tell you, that pass was high, but in the National Football League, a receiver has to do something more other than let that ball go through his hands.
Well, Josh Reed is a shorter receiver. He's only 5'10". Again, that ball was high and it was hard. We'll look at it another time.
Third trip to the red zone for the Jets. They scored touchdowns in their previous 2. Favre, short pop over the middle. That's complete inside the 15 to Thomas Jones. Let's go back to it.
Yeah, let's look at that one more time, Greg. Now, again, Losman, he lets this thing go. It's a tight spiral. Yes, that ball is catchable, no doubt about it. Josh Reed could have caught it, but if you're a quarterback on a short ball like that, you've got to throw it better. There's too much body way down below, a lot of chest where all you got to do is put it in there, and the guy has no choice but to catch it.
Hank Poteet with his 2nd interception of the season. Favre with a 3rd and 3. Pump fake. Now pulls it down and throws to the end zone. Incomplete. Penalty marker is down in the end zone.
Somebody's going to get called for interference.
And there is a who me factor going on from Leotis McKelvin. Dick Duran, the former DB himself, wondering what's going on.
Well, you know, the other guys will get involved.
There is no foul for pass interference in the end zone.
That's what they did.
It'll be 4th down.
The other officials come on in and say, we didn't see it. Dustin Keller, the intended target. You can see at the very last minute, Brian Scott gets his hands. That is a good non-call. That is a good job, I think, of the officials of picking up the flag. Scott had his hands straight up, did not move the body at all of Dustin Keller. And I think that's one of those conferences where they got it right.
Feely, author of 11 field goals in a row, makes it 12 straight. 13-17 to play, fourth quarter. Jets extend their lead to 24-20. At this point, doesn't take much imagination to figure out what kind of an ending we could be headed for. 24-20 Jets, 13-17 to play here in the fourth quarter. Leotis McKelvin at his own 2-yard line.
And the Jets don't want him to get into the open field. He's got tremendous speed as well.
McKelvin, a yard deep in the end zone. To the 20 with a head of speed. 40, and there he goes. No one will catch McKelvin. 10-5 touchdown. Is that a penalty flag at the 40-yard line?
Here in the return, holding number 37 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Number 37, George Wilson, is flagged for the penalty that will erase the go-ahead touchdown. Number 57 was guilty of the call, and that is John Cordo, although the officials called it on number 37. Nevertheless, it backs Buffalo up to its own 30-yard line, and the quick pass is caught on the far side by Lee Evans. Let's go back to that play.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. John Cordo, number 57, is going to be blocking right there on number, you see him right there on Ahmad Carroll. Watch Ahmad Carroll at the end of this has to readjust his helmet right there because Cordo, I think, had his hand on his face mask, and it's going to be right there on the left-hand side of your screen. And I think pretty obviously Ahmad Carroll would have been in a position to make a play and to make that tackle on McKelvin, but he was held.
It wipes out what would have been a 100-yard return of the kickoff for a touchdown. 2nd and 7. Jets still in the lead, 24-20. The give is to Lynch, and Lynch for a first down. Across the 40, we go to James Brown at the NFL Today studio in New York. JB.
First and 10 at 41.
Boy, hard to believe, JB, the San Diego Chargers just fighting to stay alive. Marshawn Lynch, now 100 yards on 14 carries today. Third time he's gone over the 100-yard mark in this season. Looking for more right here and not getting it. Brought down at the 40-yard line by Mike DeVito.
Or at least the Jets are thinking to themselves, I wonder how Buffalo enjoys having a kickoff called back because of a hold happened to them last week in the game against the 49ers. So it's how frustrating. At least it wasn't one of those holds away from the action that didn't have an impact on whether it was a successful return. That really right at the point of attack and enabled McKelvin to go.
2nd and 10. Losman with time, throwing over the middle, and it is batted down. Eric Smith made the play. Josh Reed, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, and Eric Smith finally gets to make a play after being out for the last 6 weeks. And he picked a pretty good time to come in there, perfectly timed, busting up the pass to Josh Reed.
And here come the Jet fans on 3rd and 10.
The loudest they've been all day.
Defensive coordinator Bob Sutton looking for a play from his guys here. Losman from the shotgun. the throw, and that's complete across midfield into Jets territory for a first down to Steve Johnson.
Well, Steve Johnson, a rookie, already has a touchdown reception to his name today, and a beautiful strike there from J.P. Losman. He had coverage crossing underneath. Look how close this was to getting batted, and he rifles one right in there. Lowry nearly got a finger on it.
First down. Lynch. If Lynch were playing baseball, he would be called a tough out.
Yes, he would. He certainly has been running hard today. Of course, you knew that was coming when he did call himself out during the week, and you know, he challenged his teammates. And again, you see this all the time in the National Football League, where the underdog really puts in a spirited effort. Now, what's tough to do for the underdog a lot of times is to finish. And we'll see how much finish the Bills have left in them.
Losman on 2nd and 7. Pulls it down, throws, and it falls incomplete. Losman was in the grip of Mike DeVito and got it just in time before he was decked.
And of course, once you throw it away like that the last minute, you are in no position to protect yourself. And watch him get thrown to the ground.
Offense. No eligible receiver was in the area.
And Losman has been called for an intentional grounding.
Well, there has to be a receiver somewhere in the vicinity. Boy, you can see that he had Lee Evans in the middle of the field. Now, he was about 10 yards downfield. Again, that is subject to the interpretation of Jeff Triplett. And in his estimation, Losman did that solely to avoid being sacked without an eligible receiver. Although I've seen quarterbacks get away with more than that.
It is a 3rd and 16 for Losman and the Bills. The ball at their own 44-yard line. And they need the Jet 39 for a first down. Looking for an outlet, has none. Flips it now, and incomplete, in and out of the hands of Marshawn Lynch.
Well, the Jet defense stiffened when they had to, and they were aided there by Marshawn Lynch dropping the ball. Although I think it's not likely that he was going to go very far. But Losman did deliver it right on his hands. He had David Harris to contend with.
And now Buffalo has to kick it away to Leon Washington. Gonna let it fall. And it'll take a Buffalo bounce inside the 10, inside the 5, and scooped up at about the 2.5-yard line. John Wendling made the play for the 2nd time today. Well, you couldn't draw it up any better for the Buffalo Bills. They get a terrific kick from Brian Moorman. The Jets are back at their own 3-yard line.
Who's had a number of them, Greg. He has had some day punting the ball.
And you would think the Bills defense stands up. They're going to come out on the better end of this field position battle. Favre going to throw it out of his own end zone. On the move, throws it away. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, that's aggressive play calling on first down, throwing it out of your own end zone. So many things can go wrong, not the least of which is a hold in the end zone, which would be a safety. Anytime a coach knows that that's happening in the end zone and that his guys are having to pass block, I'll guarantee you the butterflies are hard at work.
We have 9 minutes and change to play here in this game. 38 points scored in the first half, 6 in this second half. Favre pump fakes, throws, outside, incomplete. Kochery, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, Terrence McGee didn't bite at all on the pump by Favre. Excellent work there by Terrence McGee. Watch this. He doesn't bite on it at all. And Brett has no choice but to try to float it over the outside shoulder. I don't know if Brett was fishing for a roughing the quarterback penalty or something. That was
again, it bears
hardly
repeating.
a violent hit.
Bears repeating. The Jets win today. They win their next 2. They win the AFC East. Play clock is down to 3 to 2 to 1, and he barely got the play off from his own end zone, off of the hands of Leon Washington, and they'll have to kick.
Well, there's aggressive play calling, and then there's really aggressive play calling, and 3 consecutive passes and 3 incompletions bring about a really quick New York punt.
First 3 and out for the Jets today, and now Roscoe Parrish, who had a terrific punt return earlier in this game, stands right around midfield for this kick upcoming from Reggie Hodges. Short. And Parrish is going to let it roll, and it gets a great bounce for the New York Jets. This is going to come to rest at the Buffalo 36-yard line. The Jets have no business getting field position defensively that good. Still plenty of time, 8:45 to play in the 4th quarter. Reggie Hodges' kick was 61 yards, and he got a 24-yard roll after it bounced. Losman out here, complete and out of bounds at about the 46-yard line to JB in New York.
First and 10 at the 47.
JB, thank you. Losman throwing, nice catch at the 40-yard line by Josh Reed, and another first down for the Bills.
Well, Losman, who's had problems with throwing some balls high, brought that one down. Remember the one that was high and glanced off of Reed's hands? Well, no risk there. He back shouldered it and put it in a good position for Reed to make the catch. He had to stop and come back to it. Good job by Reed of adjusting, but at least the ball didn't sail on Losman.
First down now for Buffalo at the Jet 39. And Losman with a quick drop and a quick toss, and that's complete inside the 30 to Reed. And that's another first down for Buffalo.
Boy, you saw Marshawn Lynch come in there and try to help out his teammate by picking a guy off the pile. Well, a couple passes now in the Buffalo repertoire. You'd think now maybe be a good time for a little dose of number 23.
Buffalo having things all their own way in this quarter. 3rd first down on this drive. Now from the shotgun. Losman, and another slant, and that one is good close to the 20-yard line, this time to Lee Evans. And Losman developing quite the rhythm, throwing the football now.
All of a sudden, Losman starting to look like Peyton Manning, throwing bullets on the slant, putting it down low where only Lee Evans has a chance to make the play, even though it was decent coverage by Ty Law, no chance.
2nd and 2.
How long can this last?
Marshawn Lynch, anyone? You betcha. First down, and then some. Inside the 15, bulls his way to the 10-yard line.
It has been a while since I've seen a guy refuse to go down to the extent Marshawn Lynch has been doing it today. And the Jets fans getting a little upset with their defense's inability to tackle number 23. Look at him still go and fight through.
Jets defense has now allowed 160 yards rushing today. That is a season high for that defense.
I spoke earlier about whether the Buffalo Bills can finish this game. The one thing that's not in doubt is whether or not Marshawn Lynch is going to finish his runs.
First down just outside the 10-yard line. This is Jackson, and Jackson to the 5. And still on his feet. And a touchdown! That's unbelievable.
And this crowd cannot believe what they have seen, that 4 or 5 green jersey defenders can't get the Buffalo runners to go down. Let's see where contact first happened. Right there. You see the lowering of the shoulder was at the 4-yard line. And Fred Jackson doesn't stop until he's a yard into the end zone. Look at this. This is not rugby. This is not a scrum. Man, that is some great effort by the Buffalo running back.
Our third lead change of the game. Lindell's extra point is good. 5.5 minutes to play. The boos rain down on the New York Jets.
Well, they
trail 27-24.
They rain down on their defense.
We talked earlier today about how it just is not a piece of cake when the Jets face the Buffalo Bills. December 10th of 06, Lee Evans, 77-yard touchdown catch, and Nate Clemens returned an interception, 58 yards for the touchdown. The Bills won it 31-13. Then in October of 07, Chad Pennington sacked 3 times. Lee Evans, an 85-yard catch, the only TD of the game. The Bills won that one 13-3, and they have come back now to grab a 27-24 lead with 5.5 to play as you look at the last 2 games played here at the Meadowlands.
And you notice right there the turnover differential. The Jets with 6 turnovers, the Bills with only 2. I thought that the Jets dodged a bullet there with that great punt when they had to do a 3-and-out and weren't able to get the ball away from their own goal line. But wow, how long did that field position last?
Well, J.P. Losman came out gunning the football all over the field, found his rhythm, and drove the Bills down, and Fred Jackson finished it off.
Well, Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch are just refusing to be tackled. And right now, this is a little embarrassing for the Jets defense. They have got to muscle up. And I think Eric Mangini is taking this pretty well. I admire coaches who have the ability to have that even demeanor on the sidelines. I would have thrown my headset. I would be over there yelling and screaming. Somebody would be hearing it.
Leon Washington deep for the Jets. This is Washington from the 7. 20, 30, 40, and knocked out of bounds by the kicker, Ryan Lindell. Hey, after 31 years, the show the pros watch has a new home. Inside the NFL is now on Showtime. JV, Chris Collinsworth, Warren Sapp, and Phil Simms. Every Wednesday at 9 Eastern Time, only on Showtime.
Well, Leon Washington and the special teams, they did their part. Can Brett in the offense do theirs?
Favre gets to start from midfield. This is Jones. Jones for 2 to the 48.
Well, we talked at the top of the show today about this is why Brett Favre is here. This is the confidence and the type of things he can deliver. I don't think he's too thrilled about throwing more interceptions than any quarterback in the league to this point. But all that'll be forgiven if he can lead the Jets to a touchdown.
2nd and 8. Favre on the move. Going to throw it. Incomplete. Just a bit high for Lavernius Coles. Went through his hands.
Man, and Brett delivered that at the exact nanosecond where he was still not across the line of scrimmage. That's just too enticing when it opens up that much. And the ball just got away from him. He had Coles open. And I don't think that's a position that Brett is really accustomed to delivering the football. And that could have been an interception when it goes through a receiver's hands like that.
Favre has thrown 5 straight incompletions now. 3rd and 8. Favre throwing over the middle, and that bullet is incomplete.
He was trying to go to Dustin Keller, his rookie tight end, and Brett got whacked. But he's able to step into it. And he just got shoved at the end by Ryan Denny and landed kind of awkwardly. But he threw a laser, but behind a wide open Keller. Keller was really way open, and Brett just missed him.
Now Roscoe Parrish and Fred Jackson are deep. This is Parrish, and he's going to let it fall inside the 5 penalty marker down. So the Bills were looking at this ball at their own 20-yard line. See what Jeff Triplett has to say.
During the kick, holding number 22 of the return team. That 10-yard penalty is enforced from the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
That's Fred Jackson, and boy, could Dick Duran have been any clearer about how much penalties have been hurting his club?
Boy, there's some high-quality holding, and then there's that one right there when he just horse-collared Wallace Wright. I don't think that could have been any more blatant.
So this is going to block back the Bills to their own 10-yard line with 4:20 to play, each team with all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Well, how much pressure now on the Jets defense? Booed off the field by the crowd here at the Meadowlands just a couple of minutes ago. Can they take that personally?
And do you think you'll see Marshawn Lynch with a carry or 2 here? Lynch.
Question is, are we going to see him tackled?
Lynch left side, and still isn't down yet. Still hasn't gone down.
Well, here are the remaining schedules here in the AFC East. Miami is still leading in their game against the 49ers. They're up by 5 points with less than 3 minutes to play. They finish at Kansas City and then at the Jets, of course, here on the final weekend of the season. New England plays later this afternoon. Then they've got the Cardinals and the Bills. And the Jets have to go all the way to the West Coast to play Seattle next week. Their 3 trips to California so far this year have resulted in 3 losses.
Not very good at all. Meanwhile, on the ground again is Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch out to about the 18, where it'll be 3rd and 2. Clock continues to move. 3:25 to play in the 4th quarter.
This is the toughest yard in football to pick up. To protect a lead on the road.
3 tight ends onto the field for Buffalo. And this is as big a 3rd and 1 as you will find all day. Lynch, first down. Across the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, that time Duke Preston took Chris Jenkins to the right. Take a look at this. He's going to move Jenkins. Jenkins gets great penetration, but there's a lack of backside fill in that gap that was vacated by Jenkins, and by the time they could make the tackle, it was a pretty easy conversion.
2:22, 21, 2:20 to play in the 4th quarter. Ball security a must now for the Buffalo Bills. the middle across the 25 to the 26-yard line. 4-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 6, and timeout is called with 2:06 remaining. The Jets use the first of their 3 timeouts.
Wow, that timeout only saves 6 seconds.
Meanwhile, Marshawn Lynch, 1,001 yards rushing on the season now, and 126 hard-fought yards today. A reminder, it's a doubleheader day here on CBS. Still to come, the playoff push continues. Steelers at Baltimore against the Ravens. Denver at Carolina against the Panthers. New England at Oakland against the Raiders. Don't you think those Patriots are taking note of this game with interest? 2nd and 5. Jets will get another stoppage of the clock at the 2-minute warning. Play fake. Losman under pressure, lost the football. Still on the loose, picked up by the Jets, inside the 5, to the end zone, touchdown! Sean Ellis. Do you believe that?
J.P. Losman has to protect the football. The blitz coming from behind by Elam. He knocks the ball loose, and Sean Ellis, the ball's bouncing around, but he gets a great hop as it bounces up to waist level right in front of him. Losman not feeling the pressure from behind, and Elam gets his right hand down on the ball, knocks it loose. Sean Ellis had it once, but here's the bounce. Comes right back at him, and look at that hit he puts on Langston Walker. What a great play by the longest tenured New York Jet, Sean Ellis.
Dan, I have to ask you, when the Buffalo Bills have made their living running the football today, what are you doing throwing the ball on 2nd and 5?
Well, keep in mind now that last drive they had got started with some fine passes by Losman. You can't go entirely into your shell.
But
it's just Losman has to have, he's got to have awareness that there's got to be somebody coming from the backside.
4th lead change of the day. The kick is good. This quarter, the New York Jets, 10 points off turnovers. They lead 31-27.
Well, referee Jeff Triplett was being assisted over on the sideline because watch Duke Preston, number 75, just shove Triplett. Preston's trying to get over there to make a play. He actually does hit Sean Ellis at the very end, but poor Jeff Triplett, his face, he just does a face plant right into the turf.
He's looking a lot like Rudolph right now.
He's bleeding profusely from the nose, and I'm not sure how the league's going to look at that. Yeah, Duke Preston's trying to make a play and get over there, but wow, he just took both hands and kind of propelled Jeff Triplett.
Meanwhile, potentially, Buffalo snatches defeat from the jaws of victory, the way this thing is looking right now. From the goal line, Leotis McKelvin had a 100-yarder called back because of a penalty. He's hit hard at the 25.
Well, the Jets defense has been scoring touchdowns all year. In week 3 in San Diego, David Barrett picked off Phillip Rivers, went 25 against Arizona. It was Darrell Revis. Then Abram Elam, he goes ahead and gets a score. And then against the Rams, they score. And then finally, Calvin Pace with one. And then this one right here, none bigger than this one by Sean Ellis. as he finally gets control of the football and gets it in there.
That's a team record 5th touchdown scored by the defense.
And oh, baby, did they need that one.
Minute 47 remaining. Losman and Buffalo with all 3 timeouts remaining. Time. Still with time. Throwing over the middle, intercepted. Picked off by number 24, Darrelle Revis.
Talked earlier about the Buffalo Bills, and the question was going to be, can they finish? Can you play hard and get it done for 60 minutes? And the Bills very much looking like a team that couldn't finish it here today. Darrelle Revis, plenty of time to just cut in front. Losman has to be aggressive, trying to get the ball down to Robert Royal, but Revis gets his 5th pick of the year.
Here's Thomas Jones now straight ahead to about the 30, and the Bills call a timeout and stop the clock with 1:32 to play.
He might be 39, but a football player loves to win. I think Brett can say to Jeff Triplett, I know exactly how you feel.
While we have a moment, the executive producer of the NFL on CBS is Sean McManus. Vice President of Production of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant. Today's game produced by Mark Wolf, directed by Bob Fishman. The senior producer of CBS Sports in the NFL today is Eric Mann. The director, Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Lance Barrow. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Steve Karasik. Our associate directors today's game, Ryan Galvin and Alana Campbell. Our broadcast associates, Brian Jagoda and Chris Burns. Our technical manager is Jim Baker. Technical director is Dennis Stone. Our audio supervisor, Kevin Little. Our stats provided by Joe Castellano and Chuck Hinkle. And our spotter is Michael Gluck.
And in addition to all those named people, to our entire crew here at the Meadowlands, great camera work, great job in tape. Sound is magnificent. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Bills have used their 2nd timeout to stop the clock with 1:28 to play. The Jets with 10 points in this quarter. They have no first downs on offense. Third and 7 here. And this is Jones, right side. And is going to be brought down very close to the first down marker. Keith Ellison and Brian Scott with the hit.
And more importantly, he stayed in bounds, forcing Buffalo to take their 3rd and last timeout.
So Buffalo out of timeouts with 1:19 to play.
And this is going to be interesting now. What are the Jets going to do?
It'll be 4th and 2.
Kick a field goal
when we resume,
which would put you up by 7. Of course, anytime you do something like that, you run the risk of getting it blocked and having a big play go the other direction.
Talking about running a risk, the Jets were running a risk of falling behind Miami should they go on to win, and New England should they win out on the West Coast.
You can try for the first down. If you don't get it, you're going to give Buffalo a possession. Of course, they won't have any timeouts left, and they need a touchdown. A field goal won't do, and that's what the Jets are going to do.
4th and 2. Field goal kicker Feely still on the sideline.
See if Brett tries to draw them offside. Nope.
This is Jones, and Jones tripped up short of the first down. Kyle Williams with a big play in the middle. Big number 95, so the ball goes over on downs.
Man, Eric Mangini is going, are you kidding me? Well, the big play, deep threat for the Bills is Lee Evans. That's a final now. The Dolphins have won. The Dolphins now move to 9-5.
And a win by the Jets here, they would keep pace and also go to 9-5. New England, or we're out in Oakland, will try to do the same.
And we're 1 minute and 17 seconds from the Jets getting that 9th win.
Field goal won't do it. Bills have to look for a touchdown. No timeouts remaining. Losman to Lynch. Lynch across the 30 and decked at the 31. David Harris and Eric Smith. They can't stop the clock. 2nd and 5. Over the middle, and that's Roscoe Parrish. And Parrish has enough for the first down, but the clock continues to go.
The Jets will be more than happy to give J.P. Losman all of those he wants.
And he spikes the ball and stops the clock with 41 seconds to play.
And you're going to see double coverage on Lee Evans no matter where this guy goes. There is no way the Jets are going to let 83 get behind them. They hope. Dick Duran has seen his team fight. But again, like teams that aren't winning, it just seemed to fade in the last couple minutes.
Losman throwing, top up, and dropped incomplete. David Harris almost had the interception.
It was served up for Lynch. It was served up by Marshawn Lynch. Again, another high pass from J.P. Losman. You know, that's just an easy completion, granted not for big yardage, but if that is anywhere down low, there aren't all the theatrics involved with that. J.P. Losman has been having real trouble today on his shorter passes and really sailing high.
3rd and 10. Losman with lots of time throws it out here to Jackson. Jackson looking for the sideline and is out of bounds at the 41-yard line. And it'll be 4th down. I know hindsight is just crystal clear, Dan. I just go back to that 2nd and 5 and think you run the football and then kick it away and play defense. Because only bad things could have happened.
Well, maybe they didn't want to play defense against Brett Favre.
4th and 4. Losman trying to get rid of it, and he did, and he has enough for the first down. Clock continues to move. 14.
Chris Jenkins hanging all over Losman.
And Losman spikes the ball, stops the clock, 10 seconds to play. Ten seconds to play.
Well, we might be seeing the mother of all deep umbrellas here by the Jets defensively.
Steve Johnson is on the field. He's made a couple of big catches for the Bills on offense today. Number 83, Lee Evans, is there. So is Roscoe Parrish. So is Josh Reed. And the Jets call timeout.
Yeah, they wanted to see the formation.
Just a reminder, doubleheader action still to come here on CBS.
I think that's a smart call by the Jets. They wanted to see the formation. The Bills came out in. You got a timeout here. No time to make a mistake defensively.
10 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter. The New York Jets needing a win to stay at least in a tie for the lead in the AFC East. Have a 31-27 lead on Buffalo. The Bills with no timeouts remaining. Marshawn Lynch has been extraordinary for the Bills. 21 carries, 127 yards. Brett Favre, 17 of 30 for 207 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 2 interceptions. Three receivers this side of the field for Buffalo. Lots of Jets down deep.
The Jets rushed one guy. Here come two guys late.
Losman all the way to the end zone. It is intercepted at the goal line. Triple zeros on the clock. Kerry Rhodes with the interception to end it. The Jets win at 31-27. Up next, the Burger King update for all of today's scores and highlights. For Dan Dierdorf, Greg Gumbel, so long from the Meadowlands to JB in New York after this.